Assalamu alaikum. Dear students, you are welcome to USS online class. In my last class, I discussed modifiers up to the use of appositive. Okay, let's start our discussion with the use of appositive. Appositive. Appositive is an extra information. Which identifies or clarifies a noun. So it modifies a noun, and it's a kind of post modifier. Appositive is a kind of post modifier. That means an appositive takes place after the noun and modifies it or clarifies it. Example: I visited Cox's Bazar. The longest series in the world last week. Look, the longest series in the world is an extra information here because I visited Cox's Bazar last week is a complete sentence, and the longest series in the world is an extra information here which identifies the noun Cox's Bazar. So the longest series in the world is an appositive, and look here, an appositive takes a comma before it and it also takes a comma after it if it is used in the middle of a sentence. Look, then if it is used towards the end of a sentence, it takes a comma before it and it takes the finishing or ending punctuation, that means full stop or question mark or maybe exclamation mark. If it is used in the last or towards the last of a sentence, and if it is used in the middle of a sentence, it takes a comma before it and it also takes a comma after it. Then we will discuss the use of present participle. Present participle. And present participle is a form of verb. Present participle is a form of verb. It takes ing with the base form of verb, and it's a kind of participle and which acts like an adjective. We know that a participle is called a double parts of speech because it acts both as a verb and an adjective at the same time. And present participle means indicates present participle is V1 plus ing, or the form of participle which takes ing towards the end of the base form of verb, and it modifies, present participle modifies a noun or pronoun, and it may be a pre-modifier or a post-modifier. Look, example: we cannot drink boiling water. Here the word boiling modifies water, which is a noun. Water is a noun here, and boiling modifies water. Which type of water can we not drink? We cannot drink boiling water. So boiling is a pre-modifier here, which modifies the word water. Again, past participle. Past participle. We know that past participle is another kind of participle, and it also modifies noun or pronoun, and it may be a pre-modifier or post-modifier. Look, example, we should drink boiled water. Here the word boiled is a past participle, and it modifies the noun water, and it's a kind of pre-modifier here. Okay. Number 6, perfect participle. Perfect participle, or sometimes perfect participle phrase. Perfect participle phrase means having plus D3 plus others. It's also a kind of participle, and it modifies actually a verb, and it usually is used as a pre-modifier. Example, having forgotten him, I went back to my work. Here the word having forgotten him, here the phrase having forgotten him has modified the word went or verb. How? Look, we can ask, when did you go back to work, or why did you go back to work? The answer is having forgotten him. So having forgotten him has the phrase having forgotten him has modified the verb here, and it takes place before the verb, and so it's a kind of pre-modifier, and the phrase is having plus V3 plus object. So it's a kind of perfect participle, and it modifies a verb, and it's a kind of pre-modifier. Then we will discuss about gerund phrase. Gerund phrase. It is also formed by adding ing to the base form of verb, and it acts like a noun. But the phrase gerund phrase modifies usually a verb. It may be a pre-modifier, or it also may be a post-modifier. For example, look, going to market, I bought some fish. I bought some fish. Here the word, phrase going to market has modified the word or the verb bought. How? Look. When did you buy some fish? When did you buy some fish? The answer is going to market. So the phrase has modified the verb and it's a kind of gerund phrase. It's a gerund phrase and it has modified the verb and it's a kind of pre-modifier here. Look. Then we will discuss prepositional phrase. Prepositional phrase. We know that a prepositional phrase is a kind of phrase which acts like a preposition or which is used instead of a preposition. Here, a prepositional phrase usually modifies a verb and it's a kind of it may be a pre-modifier or it may be a post-modifier. Example, I took biology in lieu of mathematics. Here the phrase in lieu of is a kind of prepositional phrase and it has modified the verb took. Look. And it's a kind of post modifier here. Then we will use or discuss the use of a relative clause. Okay, the use of a relative clause. Look, number 9. A relative clause. A relative clause is a clause which starts with a relative pronoun, a relative pronoun plus verb plus dot dot, and it modifies a noun or pronoun and it's usually a post modifier. Example, those who are idle, can never prosper in life. Here the clause who are idle has modified the pronoun those and it's a post modifier because it has been used after the word those. Okay. Then we will discuss the use of adverb. Number 10, use of adverb. We know that an adverb is a word which, look, adverb is a word which modifies a verb, an adjective or another adverb. So it can modify a verb, an adjective or an adverb and it may be a pre-modifier or post-modifier. Example, he walks fast. Here the word or adverb fast has modified the verb walks Number 11, adverbial or adverbial phrase. Adverbial or adverbial phrase. It's a kind of phrase and it also modifies a verb or an adjective or an adverb. It may be a pre-modifier or it may be a post-modifier. That means an adverbial or an adverbial phrase acts like just like an adverb. Example: we should not cut down trees. We should not cut down trees at random. At random. Here the phrase at random has modified the verb cut. So at random is an adverbial phrase here and it has modified a verb. Okay. Then number 12, adverbial of time. No. Adverbial of time. An adverbial of time may be a phrase like last week, last month, or next week, next month, or again it may be a word like today, tomorrow. That means the adverb which indicates time is an adverbial of time and it may or it can modify verb or adverb of time can modify a verb or adjective or an adverb. It also may be a pre-modifier or post-modifier. For example, father came home last week. Here the phrase last week has modified the verb came. So last week is a post modifier and it also indicates time, so it's an adverbial of time. Okay. Then we will discuss adverbial of place. Look. Adverbial of place. An adverbial of place indicates a place and it also modifies a verb or an adjective or an adverb. It also may be a word or a phrase. That means an adverbial of place may be a word or a phrase and it may be a pre-modifier or it may be a post-modifier. Example: his fame spread far and wide. Far and wide. Here the phrase far and wide indicates or means everywhere. Far and wide means everywhere. So it has, or the phrase has modified the verb spread and it's a phrase. So we can see that an adverbial of place may be a word or a phrase and it modifies a verb or adjective or an adverb. Okay. Today we have discussed the use of modifiers up to adverbial of place. We will discuss the other uses of modifiers in the next class. Till then, Allah Hafiz.